All right. In this video, I'm going to talk about version 3 and version 4 again, and why I believe version 4 is superior to version 3. Going to get a lot of flack. I know that there's a lot of people that like version 3 better, and in a lot of ways, I don't disagree with them. It is a more accurate look at warfare in that time period, but it's a game. It's supposed to be easier to play, and that's what version 4 takes you to. The complexity in version 3 basically bore off of version 2. So those of us that played version 2, we really didn't notice the escalation of the rules. I mean, you can easily see that. If you look at the size of the rule booklets. The version 3 is just absolutely ginormous, and it was better organized than it was in version 2, which helped a lot to mitigate the size, the expansion of the rules. But you could see here they made a flowchart. We thought this was amazing when they came out with it. Somebody took the time. I don't know who it was, but they're a genius. They took the time to show us how to allocate hits. This is just how to allocate hits in in version 3. It's ridiculous. And if you thought that was bad, take a look at this. This is the assault step. This is what you went through with assaults. Version 4 eliminates this. I mean, with the hitting, you pick a weapon, you pick a main target. If it's a tank, then you just allocate extra hits to other tanks, and that's it. And you can choose which ones they go on. And then the other side, if they have extra tanks to change the hits, or maybe they put 2 hits on your best tank, they can roll 3 to switch the hits with another tank. That's called mistaken target, and that's it. Simple. It's really simple and easy. Makes the game go a lot faster. You don't have to look up rules. Even version 4, and we're playing every week, sometimes multiple games each week, and there's still rules that we have to look up. And so unless you have eidetic memory, you're a lawyer, you're used to memorizing a lot of these things, version 4 is much better and much easier to get into. And then when we get to the assault step, again, if you're within 4, you can assault. If you're not within 4, you can't. And then on defensive fire, if you're within 8 inches of somebody assaulting, you can shoot. And it's simple. Boom, done. And makes the game flow much, much faster. You get the results. The results aren't that much different than what they were going on in version 3. But you get to make a lot more moves. You don't have to be as conservative as you were in version 3. I remember one of the first games I ever got into was Mech Warrior. And we would play a whole game in 1 hour, and you could see all the movement on the board happening, from minute to minute. Things were moving, things were happening, things were blowing up. And I remember going in, playing I think it was a tournament, played a whole tournament. And someone was playing Warhammer, the fantasy version, which I like. And it didn't look like anything moved from when I walked in to when I left. We played 3 games of Mech Warrior, and I left, and very little had changed on the Warhammer board because it's very stiff and very cumbersome to looking up charts. This was an older version too, much older version. And so yeah, I knew I prefer faster moving games, games that didn't have extensive rule booklets. I love the army books. I wish army books would be bigger. But it's not easy for people to get into a game. Yes, people that came from version 2, we were fine going to version 3, and we had a lot of fun doing so. But after a while, even I just didn't have the motivation to play version 3. And version 4, when it was about to come out, a friend was trying to explain the rules to me, and I didn't like it. I thought it was going to be terrible. But then once you got this stuff on the board and you played it, it made sense. It's one of those things where you look at on paper, it doesn't look that good. You put it on the board, way better. I have a lot more fun playing version 4 simply because it moves faster and we can resolve things. I mean, you can imagine in version 3 they instituted the timers, the chess timers, because it would just take forever to finish a turn, and we couldn't finish any games. But in version 4, we'll always finish a game within 2.5 hours or 3 hours with, with at least satisfactory results. And they have done an enormous amount of tweaking on version 4 to make it better. So I have to give props to the people at Battlefront. I think they're doing a great job. I know there was a lot of people that disagreed and left the game, but I think that's unfortunate. I think they should have, like myself, given the game a chance. And this game is better for tournaments now. People can get into it more easily and play it. And we want to expand the base. We don't want to reduce the base. And getting on that as well, if you have tournaments, you have to have a universal rule set. Everybody has to agree on one rule set that's going to bring us together from all over the country because there's not many people that are into this hobby. You compared to other games, I mean, you go on, you see Minecraft. Minecraft has got millions of people that play. Not so with miniature wargaming, and we're all fractured. We're all over the place because it is expensive. It is difficult to get into. It takes a lot of money to just get started. That you have to be dedicated, and Flames of War allows you to get into it. I think it's a happy medium. It's not too cheap, not too easy, not too um, elementary that you get bored very easily. I think it holds my attention just as well as version 3, and I think more so because I'm not bogged down by this insane rules that were going on in version 3. It was oppressive, I have to say. I don't have an eidetic memory, and usually we don't get to play every week. This has been an anomaly of what's going on here the past couple months because of what's all the craziness that's going on. So it's actually been a boon for my gaming. I know a lot of people they haven't been able to game as much. However, when we go back to normal, I won't be able to play every week. I'll be lucky if I play once a month. And if you played once a month or less, which is what was happening in version 3, you're not going to remember all this. You're going to have all these charts, all these things that you have to refer to, and flow charts, and all these things that just took forever to manage the game, and it became more of an accounting process than it was, sending your tanks to attack here, or I want to bombard this area here. You can feel more tactical. You could feel more like a commander on the field um, without having to get a degree in Flames of War. So that's my 2 cents. Comment below if you agree or disagree. It's okay. The one thing that I do ask is that if you're constantly saying the same thing over and over again, I know there's some people out there that are like this. I mean, I want an open discussion, but if you're trying to uh, denigrate Flames of War for another system, that's where I think I draw the line. You could say the bad things, good things about Flames of War. I think that's fair. But if you're trying to knock down Flames of War to promote another system, again, that fractures our society, our hobby, where we can't agree on a universal rule set that we can come together, come from all over the country or all over the world and play a rule set that we agree on. So I think it's Flames of War, and you know, I think they're doing the right thing, or they did the right thing with version 4, and I just want to encourage them to keep moving forward. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.